Hello Libra, this is Joe, and I think I have a great spirit message for you, and we'll do some tarot cards at the end. This is for the month of May 2020. I know I'm a little late getting into May, I'm behind, but nonetheless, I really feel like this message is meant for some of you, and it really is a positive message. But before I get started, I do a meditation, and then afterwards I take notes and I pull out the things, the most important things or the bigger things that came to me, and I do take some notes afterwards. And so if you see me looking down, I'm just making sure that I'm trying to get the rest of that complete message out and not forget anything. But anyway, I did this, and I really feel like this is probably a more focused message for a smaller group of people, but nonetheless there may be something that you take from this and the rest you may not. And for some of you, this broader message might make sense now or later on in the month. But with that said, let's get into it and let's see what it's about. And so this message is really for you introverted Libras. This is really about the introvert. And so if any of you are really kind of an introverted Libra, this is about going for it. And this is about coming out of your shell, coming out to play. I think some of you have someone new come into your life, maybe right now, maybe you already are at that place, or it's coming in at some point. And this is not everybody has someone new coming in, but this is the bigger trigger for this. Some of you have spent so much of your life being overly introverted to where you're finally just at the point where you may be tired of it. You're growing tired of it, and you want to branch out, but it might be kind of scary and uncomfortable for you. So I think part of the reason this is happening for you, to be honest, is current events, world events right now. Things are really kind of just everywhere. And, you know, everybody has a lot of different feelings. Some people are living in fear. Some people are okay and they're just kind of riding above it. Some people are back and forth in between. And it is a difficult time for everybody, no doubt. But I think some of this is triggered by that. The idea of the current events, the current circumstances around the globe. But I think for some of you, this is about somebody new coming in. And this person, whoever it is, or whoever you're dealing with, really just sparks some passion in you. This doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, but I think the bigger part of this is about a romantic relationship. And this comes to you from a long period of time where maybe you wanted to break away from that, like that introvert prison. And there's nothing wrong with being an introvert, absolutely nothing at all. But you might start viewing that introvert type persona as being like a trap, and you don't know how to break away from that, and now you're just starting to get to the point where you want to step out of your comfort zone. So you have this sense maybe of missing out or deeply desiring this transformation, and it is coming in because I think this is a point in your life where you know there's more and you want to see what it is. Now, this could also be something that you've been fantasizing about, maybe a little bit, dreaming about, wishing upon a star kind of thing. And I think this is, for many of you introverts, this is a great month to take some big, what you might feel like is a big risk, but really it's not that big of a deal for a lot of people, because some people just are naturally extroverted, just like others are naturally introverted. So for you, this feels very big, I think, and it is very big actually, because it's about letting yourself have a little bit more freedom that you've always wanted from the sidelines, and that's coming in. Now you're coming out to play, you're coming out of your shell. This is something you really wanted and you're going for it, and I think this is amazing. However, I think some of this might kind of cause you to have like this back and forth where you might put your foot in the water and you might pull it out, and you might put it in, you might pull it out. But for some of you, there is somebody in this picture that is really driving you to do this, because maybe you're not quite the match for this person as a hardcore introvert, but you really desire this change. This isn't about changing for somebody, or this isn't about faking something that you're not. This is really just about a triggered change that is really meaningful and true. So this could be driven by the idea or the communication or some kind of relationship with somebody else, a potential relationship maybe. So that's the bigger message I got for you, Libra. Also, some of you might be feeling, or might actually be a lot more giving this month. You might be feeling a lot more benevolent in some sense. And, you know, I think maybe some of this is because you might be breaking away from some of the more traditional things that you've believed in, or you have a traditional way of doing things. And some of that's changing for you. And I think part of that could be just because of that introverted type thing we talked about. And I think maybe some of this is about a past event that's kind of triggered all this desired change too. And I think that's maybe quite possibly part of it. So I think we have a very good message for you out of this. And you know, this is really about just going for it. This is really about, you know, just trusting that this is meant for you. This is part of the thing, part of the package. This is something that you've wanted for a very long time. So we're going to pull some tarot cards, and we're going to see what comes out. Oh, we had a card fall out, so we're going to take that, but I'm going to shuffle a couple more. And we're going to see if we can get any more messages or any confirmations on this message, maybe. And let's see what that card is. Knight of Wands, and this is a very quick movement here. This is a very let me show you the card first. Let me get a focus on it. But Knight of Wands, this is really passion driven, and you know, sometimes the knights can be impulsive. They can be quick to act, and in the tarot anyway, and they could be a little bit impassioned and really quick to go after something. And I think this might represent that change for you. Being introverted might be something you might be really slow to act on, something that makes you feel uncomfortable. And I think this represents that change coming in, where you decide to just go after what it is that is just creating this passion, this desire inside you to really step outside of your comfort zone, outside of your own borders and boundaries that you kind of stay in. So I think that Knight of Wands is really speaking about that as it relates to this message. We're going to see what else we get here. And then I'll pull some cards from another deck here, and we'll see what else we can get. We have the Star, and this is like, see if we can get a good focus on that. This to me is all about that faith and that belief in something more, in something bigger, something more meaningful, and this is also about believing that what you're wishing for, what you're wanting, can come true. This isn't a pipe dream. This isn't some kind of bizarre fantasy that is so far out there. This is really wishing on something that is possible, and I think this is about you making that happen, and believing in not only that idea or those ideas, but believing in yourself to make that happen, to believe in those connections that you'll be establishing in this kind of new way of doing things. And then we'll pull one more from here. We have the Five of Cups. And so Five of Cups is quite often about, in the tarot, is quite often can be about some really deep sadness, pain, and misery and all that. About some, you know, it can have so many different meanings. To me, this is talking about looking back at yourself and looking at maybe how the way you were really made you unhappy, and you're walking away from your old self. You're walking away from some of the way you did things because you are ready to go after some more meaningful relationships and experiences in life. And so this is about stepping away from that, but it's also about looking back at that because it's made you who you were. And in that experience during your life as being an introvert, it's really taught you a lot of things. And I think with that comes a lot of wisdom. It comes a lot of wisdom and experience in a much different way than maybe other people have. So this is about looking back at that. And then finally, pull a couple cards here, and we are going to see what we get. Okay, we are exchanging gifts, and this is, the same things just keep coming out. They keep coming out for water signs, earth signs, air signs, and fire signs. And this is very prevalent in the air sign readings. I don't know why that happens the way it does. See if we can get a better focus on it. I apologize. I don't know why my focus isn't really working. But anyway, exchanging gifts. And to me, this is not the same message as Gemini had. This meaning in this, to me, is about giving something of yourself, a piece of yourself, or something about yourself to somebody else that you probably have always held back from giving, and you're comfortable, or you're going to try and be comfortable to do that because you're really inspired to give more to a relationship or to something bigger than just you. And in that is going to be this reciprocating of that. There's going to be some kind of reciprocity, some kind of giving back, and this is like a really inspired kind of thing. It's not like, I gave you something, so now the person feels like they have to give the other person something. That's not what this is. This is you being very inspired to give something very important and very delicate about yourself to somebody else. And I think that you get this reciprocation out of that is really beautiful. So I think that's what the message is here. Some very big transformations for you, Libra. It's just amazing. This is a very transformative time, and I really believe in this message. So if you, if you really can feel how this lines up and matches up with you, and maybe it won't right now, it could be later on down toward the end of the month, but, it may not all be for you, or it might the most of it might be for you, but you'll know it, you'll feel, it'll make you feel something. Instinctively, you'll know. So with that said, if this was a help to you, if you appreciated it, just do me a favor, give me a thumbs up, let me know how things work out for you. Feel free to leave a comment, and subscribe for more if this was helpful. With that said, I'll see you later in the month. I do have some more stuff coming out, and I think it's going to be an interesting month. I think it's leading to some wild rides coming as we progress through the year. And I'll talk to you later. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you again. Thank you.